Hi, I'm Greg Safford from Safford Insurance in Franklin, Massachusetts. And if anyone that you know, or you perhaps, has a home that you use as a short-term rental, it's time to pay attention. Things are about to change. Starting in July 2019, new laws will apply to your home if you rent it out on a short-term basis. If you want to learn a little bit more, continue on with this video. If you want to learn a lot more, check out my blog. I'll put a link below. You can go there for a little more of an in-depth response than this video. Okay, so what is a short-term rental? That's the first thing. And if you see me looking down, I have some notes here because it is technical and I want to make sure I get it right for you. So if you rent out your house or any portion of your house, so of a bedroom or a second room, whatever the case is, for just one day out of a 5-month period, you're considered a short-term rental. That includes if you're using Airbnb, VRBO, but it's not limited to those kinds of distribution methods for short-term rentals. Now, if you have a regular renter that's in there month after month, a regular lease agreement, that kind of thing, this doesn't apply. But you know what I'm talking about. If you're rented out to somebody that's coming into town for a few days or a couple of weeks, this is going to apply to you. All right, so what does the law do? The law does a lot of things. The law does a lot of things to allow state and local government to regulate, inspect, and of course, tax short-term rentals. But it also applies these new insurance laws, and that's what I'm going to focus on. And it's just a reminder, I'm not an attorney. The law is relatively complex in its entirety, so get an attorney involved if you have any questions on it. I'm going to focus on the insurance piece of it, and I'm going to cover it on the broad basis. So, what do you have to do now that's different? Well, the first thing is the law requires that you carry $1 million in liability insurance. If you're using an Airbnb or a VRBO, you may have that insurance already provided for you by those vendors. But it's not limited to those vendors. So you're gonna have to have $1 million one way or the other. Okay, the second thing you must do is you're required by law to notify your homeowners or renters insurance company of your intent to rent out the house or a portion of the house. So you don't have an option. You have to call your homeowner's insurance company and say, here's what I'm doing, here's what my plans are, I intend on doing this. You're also contacting your local agent should suffice to meet that. Okay, and then the third thing that's kind of interesting about this is the law is very specific that homeowners insurance companies can deny coverage or exclude coverage for short-term rentals. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, it means a lot of things are going to happen, including the possibility of you having to change your homeowner's insurance company. All right, so I have a few quick frequently asked questions. I'm going to tackle those. I do have them down on a list here, so if you see me looking down, I just want to make sure that I get all of these frequently asked questions. So the first one is, will my homeowner's insurance cover my short-term rental? And the answer to that question is maybe, maybe not. A lot of it's going to depend on how much you're renting out the house and the insurance company that you have. More and more companies are starting to exclude coverage for short-term rentals or simply refuse to take on a risk that has short-term rental exposure. Another question, what are my short-term rental insurance options? Again, it's going to depend a lot on how much you're using the house for or a portion of the house for a short-term rental. If it's a couple of days every 6 months, it might not be a big deal. It may be fine with your existing homeowner's insurance company. If you're using it for weeks or months, then it's a totally different story. You might have to move into a much more almost commercial-based product. So the best person to help you out with that is going to be your independent insurance agent. My short-term rental's on the Cape. I get this one a lot. So I'm down on the Cape. Does that change anything? Yeah, it does. Coastal properties are always a little more challenging to insure. You just have less options is simply what it is. But if you work with your agent, you should be able to find something that's going to provide you the coverage that you need to make sure that you're okay if something bad happens in those coastal environments. All right. Kind of associated with that Cape question, my house is with the FAIR plan, so I'm good, right? Well, maybe. I called the FAIR plan, and what they told me, and this is subject to change, but as of right now, what they told me was that they will accept a rental up to 30 days a year. If you go over 30 days a year, then they'll no longer accept that as new business, and if they're notified, they said that they would non-renew that property. It wouldn't be eligible for the FAIR plan. So something to keep in mind there. All right, what about, I'm not using Airbnb. I'm not using VRBO to arrange my rentals. I am doing it through a buddy, or I use Craigslist or any of these other methods. This law doesn't apply to me, right? This is only for those big guys, right? No, it doesn't work that way. The law doesn't care if you're arranging it by singing Telegram. The bottom line is it applies to you if you're renting it out one or more day out of 5 months, okay? Next question, I get this occasionally. It's usually a wink, wink, nod, nod type thing. Do I really have to tell anyone that I'm renting my house out for a few days here and there? I mean, is it really a big deal? And the answer to that question is yes. If you're renting it out on a short-term basis and you don't notify your insurance carrier, you're in violation of the law. So I'll just leave that one at that. Okay, and then what if I tell my agent? Like, do they really have to tell anybody? The answer to the question is yes, your agent should. If you tell your agent that you're using it for rental purposes, your agent should relate that kind of information over to the company. They can't just kind of keep it on the low down without putting themselves at significant risk as a licensed insurance agent in the state of Massachusetts. And then the last question is, all right, as an owner of a short-term rental, what are my next steps in complying with the law for insurance purposes? And it's really simple. Just give a call out to your insurance agent. Let them know what you're doing, what you're using the property for, and they'll be able to walk you through what you need, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, and the best ways for you to get the coverage that you need at a great value. To wrap it up, just a quick reminder that I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving legal advice, I'm talking about how this law applies to the insurance portion of your short-term rental. I'm going to include a link to the full law below. You can also find it on my website as well. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please hit the like button down there. It lets other people know that it's valuable information. Feel free to leave a comment below. I'm happy to hear what you have to say about it, what your thoughts about this change in the law are. I hope you found this information useful. If you did, please hit the like button down below. It lets other people know that it's good information and worth watching. If you'd like more information from Safford Insurance videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd also love your comments. If you have something that you want to say about this or ask any questions, go ahead and put them down below. We'll answer them as best as I possibly can. If you know anybody that has a short-term rental, feel free to share this video with them. Go ahead and post it on your blog or on Facebook. Get the word out. It is important. I think it's going to sneak up on folks. Lastly, just a personal invitation. If you have a Massachusetts short-term rental and you want to contact me, I would be happy to talk with you about it. We'll go over what your options are, what the best bet is, and make sure that you're okay and compliant. It's easy, it's free, I never charge, and it's amazing what a real short phone call can do to provide you with the peace of mind about where you're at with things. So thank you for your time, thanks for watching. We will see you later. You have a great day.